So hello guys, and as always, welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for tuning in. Now I wanted to try something just a little bit different in today's video. We're still going to go out with the cameras, but basically I've just finished a one-to-one photography workshop. It was 4 hours, and I kind of want to use this opportunity in this video just to kind of show to you guys what my one-to-one workshops generally entail. So it's about 10:30 now, and me and this fella called Greg, we met at 6 AM at this pub. You can just see behind me there, there's a bloke in the way at the minute, that's bad timing. But we met there at 6 AM, took me about 50 minutes to get here, and we met so early because we were hoping to go out and capture a really nice sunrise. Unfortunately, we didn't get a sunrise in the sense of, like, you know, a beautiful red burning sky, but we've had some really beautiful light throughout the morning, so we've both been really happy. Now, basically, I'm just going to rewind the day. Obviously, like I said, this is where we met, and just kind of run you through the locations that we visited, the photographs that we took. Perhaps I'll show you some of Greg's photographs that he managed to get, if he'll let me. And I'll be taking some photographs of my own with my Nikon, just like I would in any video. And yeah, maybe try and talk you guys through some of the things we were chatting about as well. Just thought it'd be quite interesting, something a little bit different. And by the way, these locations are absolutely unreal here in the Yorkshire Dales National Park. They're all places that I had never visited before, and I'm really excited to show you to them. There's some excellent photographic opportunity and potential. So, without further ado, let's head out now to the first location that me and Greg visited at about 6 o'clock this morning. So Greg was a little bit of a different client in the sense that he very much knew what he wanted to shoot, right down to sometimes the specific subjects that he wanted to photograph. And I'll just pop it up on the screen here. He even sent me this little Word document way before the workshop itself, just via email, sort of outlining the plans that he had for the day and kind of the locations that he wanted to visit, which was absolutely fantastic. And I think it was really good for Greg, because even though I hadn't been here before, it gave him a lot of value, because he was able to see these places that he knows fairly well through new eyes and, you know, through a new perspective. And he was able to see my take on the scene and how I approach these scenes and these subjects. And I'd really like to think that we probably left some of these locations with images that he otherwise might not have really thought of getting, which is obviously fantastic for him as well. So I thought that'd be a really good example to show to you guys. You know, you can hire me for a one-to-one and bring me to a location that you know well, maybe a location that you struggle with, and just to see how I approach it as well. It doesn't always have to be, you know, me planning everything and you coming along with me, which is fantastic, because it meant we were kind of on a level and just sort of out photographing together. It was really chilled out. Now, the first location that we visited, I didn't even bother going to, because it was kind of a little bit of a nothing. We couldn't really figure out compositions there. It was absolutely beautiful to look at. So I've come to the second location that we visited. I'm going to get myself set up now for what's going to be the first shot of this video. Ironically though, we didn't take a photograph here, but I'll explain to you why we didn't as I'm taking the image. So I'll get myself set up now. So there we go, we are set up for the first shot of the day, and this is a scene and a location that will be familiar to a lot of you guys out there, but I decided I wanted to take a photograph of here because I've never took one. This is, I believe it's called the Malham Lone Tree or something like that, but honestly, absolutely beautiful. And this is a location that is just set up for landscape photography. Me and Greg were joking, saying they should put a sign down near the road over there saying landscape photographers this way, because it's just made for it. Honestly, it's like somebody's placed it here. Absolutely beautiful. So this is a location that really makes the most of what this area is all about, and that's mostly this beautiful limestone pavement. We've got these perfect, beautiful leading lines leading right up into this beautiful lone tree, and then at the minute we've got a really, really nice sort of moody sky, which again just really suits this area. So it's actually a very easy photograph to take, and it's very easy to actually tell the story of this location with this photograph. Now, the reason we didn't bother taking a photograph here is just because it's pretty famous and Greg's kind of been there and done it, and it's not really like he needs me to tell him how to take a photograph here. It's really difficult to take a bad image of that. It's absolutely beautiful. So we moved on, which we'll go to in a minute, and we got another 2 or 3 cracking photographs, so I'll show you those areas after this. But I wanted to get a shot here because I've never photographed it, and I thought it'd be cool to show you guys, so a lot of you guys have probably not seen it as well. Now you can see there, we've got the wide angle, taking at 11 to 16, and we're shooting at 11mm. You've probably seen as well, as I was setting up, I had it in a landscape orientation, but I've changed it to portrait because I just think it suits this scene much, much better. It helps the eye to lead up into the tree, which is basically what it's all about, and it means we don't need to capture a load of negative space on the left and right hand side of the tree. It's just not adding anything to the image, basically. So I'm happy with this. Now, the only thing I'm doing differently here really is I'm focus stacking. Because this foreground area is so close to the lens, I'm taking one shot that's focused on that, and then I'm taking a second shot that's focused on, you know, the tree, and then I'll blend them together in Photoshop, which means we should get a nice even focus throughout the image, front to back. But yeah, apart from that, this is a really simple image, and you do well to take a bad shot from it, even with a phone or anything like that. It is, like I say, just made for it. So I'll pop that image up for you guys to see now. I hope you like it. I think it's going to be nice. We've got some pretty nice moody skies up there. And then I'll head round to them other locations that we found around this area where we got 1 or 2 probably quite different photographs. But I hope you like this photograph. Right, so the next photograph we got, amongst a couple of others, but this was the one that kind of stood out to me at least anyway, was right up in the distance there. You can see, I think it's just about there's another tree, and it was Greg that found it really. But as we were kind of walking back, pretty much heading back towards the car, or at least in that direction, the light kind of just changed. So I'm not going to take a photograph now because it was a very opportunistic moment. But it's fantastic because we both kind of got our cameras out. I don't usually shoot on 1-to-1s, but I do take my vlogging camera out just in case anything crazy happens with the light, or, you know, it enables me to actually show people my process on my camera if that's what people want. So we're both shooting away at that. I think Greg got 1 or 2 really nice photographs of it. If he did, again, if he'll let me, I'll stick them up on the screen now. But yeah, like I said, it was incredibly opportunistic. The light was kind of moving across the sky. It was moody, but there was breaks of light every now and again. But most of all, from what I can remember, we were just getting this beautiful sort of reflected light on that tree and on that sort of area of, I don't know, like scattered limestone pavement or limestone rocks that kind of surround the tree up there, and it's absolutely beautiful. I did get a shot of my own on this camera, on my Canon M50, so I'll pop that one up as well, just so you can see how it looked. And you know, it might be pretty cool for you guys to see how different the scene looked. But yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous. And it was really nice because before that point, like I say, we didn't take a photograph of the lone tree. Those were the real first photographs that we got, and like I say, I think Greg was really, really happy with it. So I hope you like them shots. I'm going to get back in the car now and head across to what was the 3rd location that we went to, the penultimate location, and it's a cracker. Alright, so welcome to Janet's Foss. Janet's Foss being that beautiful waterfall that you've just seen some footage of. Now, it's pretty busy here now, so I'm just going to have to chat to the camera and look like a lunatic. But so be it. I want to show you this beautiful spot. So naturally, we were kind of thinking back there where the waterfall is somewhere to take photographs down by that, but it wasn't quite working. It was, in all honesty, it was a little bit boring, and it was a conclusion that we both kind of came to by ourselves. So we decided to come further back from the waterfall. You can just see it there, a bit further downstream, which, sorry to keep spinning around, but just down this way a little bit. And we thought if we can get down here, we can use the river as a leading line, you know, up to the waterfall. However, if you look there, it's just blocked off by a bit of what looks like limestone pavement here, and just complete mess and chaos and trees. It wasn't working at all. So what we decided to try and work on then was, perhaps quite controversially, was just to forget about the waterfall altogether. Completely forget about it, which I think in many ways kind of freed us up a little bit. And that's kind of what led us to this spot just down here. So I'll get myself set up now, and I'll pretty much take the photograph that we both took earlier on. And yeah, it doesn't include the waterfall whatsoever. However, it was still a great image. So I'll get set up now, and I'll talk you through it. So I'm next to a fair few cascades here, so I hope that you can hear me okay. Let's darken that down a little bit. Now, it is incredibly busy here. Greg, if you're watching this, we went at the right time. There is people all over the shop, but it's fine. You know, they're coming out and enjoying this beautiful nature. That's what it's all about. So you can see we're set up, and again, same lens, Sakina 11-16, and in many ways for the same reasons, just because I've got some foreground quite close to the lens down here, and then we've got a background that's fairly far away, so I'm wanting to capture it all. Now, what's important here is a little bit of a long exposure effect. I thought I'd have to use my 6-stop ND filter, because we're in like a bit of a gorgy sort of area here. Even though we're, you know, quite far into the day now, it's still quite dark in here. So I'm shooting at f16, and that's giving me a shutter speed of 1/4 of a second, which, because this water's moving so fast, we had a lot of rainfall last night, so there's a hell of a lot more water here than usual. At f16, ISO 100, that's giving me a shutter speed of 1/4 of a second, which is more than long enough to capture a little bit of movement in this water, but also retain a little detail, and you know that's something that I really like to do. So yeah, it was quite frustrating at first, because Janet's Foss itself, the waterfall, is so beautiful, and that's why we came here, that's what we wanted to shoot, but it just wasn't working, like I said, because of this wall here. So yeah, kind of frustrating, but again, for Greg, I suppose it was quite nice for him to see it from my perspective, to actually say, you know what, let's forget about that waterfall and then move on to something else. It actually gave us the freedom then to come round and search for other compositions and other things like that. So that was awesome, and we both pretty much got the same photographs. Again, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put my image up for you guys to see, and then I'll put Greg's up, I think, or I'll put them up next to each other or something like that. And yeah, I'll give you a really nice idea of how everything sort of worked in our minds with regards to getting these photographs. And after leaving here, we were pretty delighted, even though we didn't photograph the waterfall itself. So I hope you like these shots. So, I hope you guys can hear me alright, but if you can, a very warm welcome to the beautiful Goredale Scar. And again, this is a location that I've never been to before. This is a spot that Greg introduced me to. Absolute class location for landscape photography, a great location just to come to anyway. Now, before we get into this shot, we were having coincidentally similar problems, I suppose, as we were when we were at Janet's Foss. Basically, you can see here there's two pretty much main waterfalls off in the background, but in fact, even further around the corner, there's a third waterfall. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll pause here for a minute. I'll head up round there and explain to you in a bit more detail. So, as I was saying, we had a bit of a similar problem really to what we had at Janet's Foss. You can see there, beautiful selection of waterfalls. Now him, just there right at the top, we naturally wanted him in the frame. We wanted all three of them beautiful falls or cascades, whatever you want to call them, but we just couldn't find a way to get that one at the top in the frame without having the other two in an unnatural position or having to change the foreground too much. We just couldn't do it. So again, like I was saying, just like at Janet's Foss, we decided to just sack that back one off and focus on these two, which meant, sorry, moving about a lot again, we could go kind of back around that way and focus on some foreground areas down there, which is exactly where I was just talking to you. So, we can go back down there now. So yeah, it was, again, like almost a carbon copy, like, you know, a little bit frustrating. It just felt natural to get that third waterfall in at the top of the frame. And what we really wanted to do was get the two waterfalls at the bottom like that, and then the one waterfall would be right at the top in between them, but we just couldn't work it, unfortunately. So again, we just said, let's just forget about it. Let's just focus on these two cascades at the top, make them the background interest. And that's when we came further around. Again, like I said, completely forgot about the other one. And it freed us up, just like at Janet's Foss. It allowed us to start focusing on this section. And this is one of the compositions, again amongst others, that we kind of come up with. And we had this beautiful main almost cascade or very small waterfall here in the foreground. And a lot like up at Janet's Foss, because there was so much heavy rainfall last night, this is absolutely roaring, so we really don't need super long shutter speeds here to get a long exposure effect. So for this particular photograph, settings, I was at ISO 100, f16 and 1/8 of a second, but even at 1/8 of a second we're getting a wonderful amount of movement in this water, and we are getting a long exposure effect. Now the composition's nice. I found this beautiful rock here in the foreground, or we both did together, which was really a really nice anchor for the photograph. And it was nice to shoot this in a landscape orientation, because there was quite a lot on the left and right hand side that we wanted to photograph. Then we had these two smaller cascades that are kind of coming around this rock here, which is just beautiful. Then that other, probably the biggest cascade of them all, ironically, which would be in the sort of mid-ground, and that led us off nicely sort of back up towards them two waterfalls right up in the background. It was great because this composition, even though we were getting down quite low, it allowed us to eradicate any sky from the photograph, because it wasn't interesting at all. If anything, it was just a little bit of a distraction. So yeah, another really cool photograph, and again, pretty nice to play around with long exposures and stuff like that. I get the impression that Greg really enjoyed that, and it was a really good opportunity to do it today without any ND filters, because we were in these locations where it was quite dark and gloomy, so we were naturally just getting long shutter speeds anyway. But another decent composition. I'll stick it up for you guys to see. As always, I hope that you like it. So we are back to the car, and what a wonderful little adventure. Thank you very much to Greg for the awesome one-to-one, and I really hope you guys enjoyed these awesome locations, and hopefully the images came out all right as well. If you'd like to book me for a one-to-one workshop, there'll be a link up in the corner here, and I'll leave one also in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please give the video a like if you have a second, comment below, and subscribe if you're new. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys on the next adventure. Out.